yoga teacher training program to offer students the time and the space they needed to really engage in a practice that would become lifelong and regular. The goal of a yoga practice isn't to stand on one foot or one hand, but rather to find a space of moving meditation, both on the mat and out of the studio. So taking the concepts we learn, the philosophy we learn, and integrating it into a healthy, whole lifestyle. The goal of the training is to develop students and yogis that can continue to practice every day for the rest of their lives. So if one person leaves the training with a little bit more knowledge or information about how to guide their own practice, that's a huge success. When someone leaves the training and they decide to share it with others, it's even more exciting because it continues that field of expansion, knowledge, sharing, and overall creating happy, healthy yogis to support the planet. I started practicing yoga regularly at the same time I enrolled in teacher training. So teacher training for me was a way to develop a regular practice for myself. This came out of dropping into one class when I traveled around or going to classes with friends, but I never developed a regular practice until I actually had the tools and the knowledge that came from outside of a studio class. I enrolled in teacher training at Yoga Vermont in Burlington with my teacher Kathy McNames in 2012. I graduated with my 200-hour certificate and started teaching within that same year. So the process happened rather quickly for me. It was a natural evolution even though I had never intended to teach. Once you enroll in a teacher training, the people you know and the people who care about you are going to want you to teach them yoga. So I started sharing yoga pretty much as soon as I started practicing it myself. I think that the teaching and the learning go hand in hand for all disciplines. So from there, I continued with my 300-hour advanced training also at Yoga Vermont. I finished that within another year and a half and opened Grateful Yoga, the studio, in 2014. I have been teaching at many studios for 2 years before then and decided that we needed a space to teach Ashtanga Yoga, which has now grown into a space offering classes from age 0 to over 80, I believe our oldest client is, and hopefully that number continues to grow. We offer community classes by donation, we offer workshops, and then naturally an evolution out of that was to develop a teacher training program. I had students who wanted to learn how to teach yoga themselves, but also who wanted to learn more about the philosophy, the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, including pranayama, meditation, and all the other parts that don't always come across in a studio class. So teacher training was a natural evolution in my teaching. I love teacher training because it gives me the chance to engage with students on a personal level, at a discussion level. We get a diverse group of students now from across the world. I've had students from as far as South Africa. I have had students who speak English as a second language. I have had students at a very young age. Teenagers have joined the program, as well as people who are in retirement. So teacher training has expanded my own offerings to a point where I feel extremely excited to get out in front of a group and work with them on whatever they're going through, whether it's discussion, practice teaching, exercises, physical, mental and spiritual. Teacher training for me is the most fun thing to teach. And then the yoga retreats that I get to teach on top of that, or that we get to travel with the teacher trainings, the traveling has exposed myself and my teachings to new challenges, new boundaries, and it's great to work through those as a group. Translations are often difficult from one language to another, so having students who speak English as a second language is a great point of discussion, a great point to talk about things like cultural appropriation and the different cultures, the way we can all use yoga if we do so in an informed, kind, and loving way. Yoga teacher training and retreats now offered internationally, I think will only continue to grow, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds.